The Roman Empire. Imagine a small city on the banks of a Tiber River in Italy. That small city, Rome, would one day grow into the most powerful empire the world had ever seen. The Roman Empire began in 27 before science when Augustus became the first emperor. Also, Rome built roads, aqueducts, and cities, spreading its culture across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. The empire was famous for its powerful legions, skilled generals, and brutal conquests. Rome ruled over 50 million people from Britain to Egypt, but with greatness came corruption, greed, and endless wars. The empire split into two parts, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. The West grew weaker, facing invasions from barbarian tribes. In 410 AD, Rome itself was sacked by the Visigoths. The people saw their eternal city burned and looted. Leaders grew weaker, the army lost discipline, and citizens lost faith. Finally, in 476 AD, the last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown. But its legacy lived on in law, architecture, and culture. Even today, governments, cities, and languages carry Rome's influence. The story of Rome is a reminder even the strongest empires can collapse. The Mongol Empire. It all began on the cold steppes of Mongolia in the 12th century. A boy named Temujin grew up poor, hunted by enemies, and left to survive in harsh lands. That boy would later be known as Genghis Khan, the man who built the largest land empire in history. In 1206, he united the Mongol tribes under his rule. With skilled horsemen and ruthless tactics, he launched campaigns across Asia. His armies moved fast, using fear and destruction as weapons. Cities that resisted were burned to the ground, their people slaughtered. From China to Persia, the Mongols crushed everything in their path. At its height, the empire stretched from Korea all the way to Eastern Europe. Millions of people lived under Mongol rule. The Mongols also built trade routes, opening the Silk Road and connecting east to west. They carried knowledge, inventions, and even the Black Death across continents. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire was divided among his sons and grandsons. Kublai Khan, his grandson, even founded the Yuan dynasty in China. But internal conflicts and rebellions weakened their power. By the 14th century, the Great Mongol Empire began to crumble. Still, its impact changed the world forever, reshaping trade, war, and global connections. The Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire began in the late 1200s, founded by Osman I in Anatolia. What started as a small Turkish principality grew into a massive power. The Ottomans used both military strength and smart alliances. In 1453, Sultan Mehmed II captured Constantinople. The city was renamed Istanbul, and it became the empire's capital. This victory marked the end of the Byzantine Empire. The Ottomans controlled lands across Europe, Asia, and Africa. Their empire stretched from Hungary to Arabia, from Egypt to Algeria. The empire ruled over 30 million people. The Ottomans built mosques, palaces, and markets that still stand today. Their culture mixed Turkish, Arabic, Persian, and European influences. Also, they were known for their elite soldiers. But over time, corruption and weak leadership weakened the empire. European powers grew stronger while the Ottomans fell behind. In the 1800s, they were called the sick man of Europe. After World War I, the empire collapsed in 1922. Yet, the Ottoman legacy still lives in food, art, and architecture across 3 continents. The British Empire. The British Empire began in 16th century with explorers and trading companies. At first, Britain had small colonies in America, Africa, and India. The empire grew with powerful navies and global trade. By the 18th century, Britain controlled major ports and colonies worldwide. They ruled over territories from North America to Australia. The empire's motto became "The sun never sets on British Empire." British culture, language, and laws spread across continents. Industrial power and military strength made them almost unstoppable. They fought wars to expand and protect their colonies. India became the jewel in the crown of the empire. But resistance and independence movements slowly grew. Revolts in colonies like America and India challenged British power. After World War I and II, the empire weakened and started to collapse. Countries gained independence one by one through struggle and diplomacy. By the late 20th century, most colonies were free. The British Empire officially ended, leaving behind a global legacy. Even today, English is spoken worldwide and British culture still influences the world. The Persian Empire. The Persian Empire began around 550 before Science, founded by Cyrus the Great. Cyrus started as a small local ruler in Persia, now modern-day Iran. Through brilliant strategy and diplomacy, he united many tribes. His empire expanded rapidly, conquering Lydia, Babylon, and beyond. At its peak, it stretched from Egypt to India, covering millions of square miles. The empire was known for its tolerance, allowing conquered people to keep their customs. Roads, postal systems, and trade routes connected distant lands. The royal road made communication fast across the vast empire. Darius I later strengthened administration and built grand palaces. Persia's wealth and culture amazed visitors from all over the world, but over time, conflicts arose with Greek city-states. Battles like Marathon and Thermopylae tested Persian power. Eventually, Alexander the Great invaded and defeated them. By 330 before Science, the mighty Persian Empire had fallen. Despite its collapse, its culture, architecture, and governance influenced future empires. Even today, its legacy lives in art, language, and history textbooks worldwide. The Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire began in 330 AD when Emperor Constantine moved Rome's capital to Byzantium. He renamed it Constantinople, which became the heart of a new empire. The Byzantine Empire was the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire. Its wealth came from trade, taxes, and controlling strategic lands between Europe and Asia. Byzantium was famous for its massive walls and the Hagia Sophia, a masterpiece of architecture. The empire survived invasions that destroyed the Western Roman Empire. Justinian I expanded its borders to reclaim parts of Italy, North Africa, and Spain. He also created the Justinian Code, influencing law for centuries. Byzantine culture was a mix of Roman, Greek, and Christian traditions. But the empire faced constant threats from Persians, Arabs, and the Turks. Internal struggles, corruption, and religious conflicts weakened the state. In 1204, Crusaders captured Constantinople during the Fourth Crusade. The empire recovered but never fully regained its former strength. Finally, in 1453, the Ottoman Empire captured Constantinople, ending the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire preserved Greek and Roman knowledge for centuries. Its art, culture, and Christianity shaped Europe and the Middle East. The Aztec Empire. The Aztec Empire began in the early 14th century in the Valley of Mexico. It started as a small city called Tenochtitlan, built on islands in a lake. The Aztecs were skilled warriors and clever rulers. Also, they were expanding their territory quickly. They conquered nearby city-states and demanded tribute from them. Their empire grew to include millions of people across central Mexico. The Aztecs built impressive temples, palaces, and floating gardens called chinampas. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, amazed visitors with its size and grandeur. Religion was central. They worshipped many gods and performed human sacrifices. Warriors and priestesses held great power in society. Montezuma II became emperor at the empire's peak, ruling with authority and fear. But in 1519, Spanish conquistadors led by Hernán Cortés arrived. They formed alliances with tribes that hated Aztec rule. Smallpox and other diseases weakened the population, unseen and unstoppable. After a brutal siege, Tenochtitlan fell in 1521. The mighty Aztec Empire collapsed in less than 2 years against foreign invaders. The Aztecs remain a symbol of power and tragic downfall. The Egyptian Empire. The Egyptian Empire reached its peak during the New Kingdom, around 1550 to 1070 before Science. It started when pharaohs expelled foreign rulers and reunited the land. Leaders like Hatshepsut Thutmose I and Ramses II expanded Egypt's power. Egypt controlled Nubia and parts of Levant and trade routes to Africa and Middle East. Its wealth came from gold, crops, and trade along the Nile River. The Egyptians built massive temples, monuments, and the famous Valley of the Kings. Their society was deeply religious, worshipping gods like Amun and Osiris. Also, pharaohs were considered gods on earth. The military protected the empire and conquered lands to secure resources. Art, hieroglyphics, and architecture reflected their advanced civilization. But over time, invasions and internal conflicts weakened Egypt. Foreign powers like Assyrians, Persians, and later Greeks invaded. By 332 before Science, Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, ending its independence. The mighty new kingdom had fallen, leaving behind its incredible legacy. Egyptian culture, religion, and monuments still alive in the world today. The pyramids, temples, and tombs stand as a testament to human ambition. Egypt reminds us that even the oldest empires were not immortal. If you're still with us, don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel for more true stories.